What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wnba Dfs here to bring you another WNBA slate breakdown for the big 5-game WNBA slate today. It's been a while since we've had a big slate, and what better day than to have 5 games when your boy has the Queen of the Court contest. That's right, today is the day of the Queen of the Court. I cannot wait for this contest tonight. 20K up top, 50 people going head to head, some of the sharpest people in the WNBA. And I can't wait. Definitely thinking I might live stream it, so check out that. See if I actually go live on the channel as we watch some of the games tonight and everything. But yeah, let's just go ahead. If you guys are new here and you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. Bringing some more stuff to the channel besides just the WNBA. A lot of more sports are back. I'm getting people to be able to come on and help me do some breakdowns and stuff for other sports, so definitely stay tuned for that right there. And if this video or any of the other videos are helping you guys with anything, helping you guys cash out and stuff like that, make sure you guys hit that like button so you guys don't miss anything at all. Now, of course, I know over the past couple of days we had some pretty mid-level contests, and honestly, if you guys were able to tune in to the breakdown that I did, then definitely you should have been able to cash, considering when you look at it. Broke this down for the slate for yesterday, and not bad. Honestly, not bad. I told you guys the game theory, what I was thinking in regards to playing for the slate, and legit, aces winning, aces bouncing back, them making the adjustments. Went ahead with what I felt. Jonquil Jones, she's been consistent throughout everything. Of course, playing my one bench player that I figured would actually do something. Went ahead with that. On top of that, Gray, just the way that she looked, the way that she played. We know that she normally steps up inside these big games, these big moments and stuff. So went with that as well. But just definitely not a bad slate, not a bad thing yesterday. So you guys should have been able to cash if you guys was able to listen to the breakdown that I did for yesterday. And then if you guys are on the Patreon, I dropped this 6-pick. You can't see down at the bottom to who actually just completely destroyed this beautiful line, and that was Lainey. Lainey went out there and she had a game for herself. Hadn't gone over her PRA in 2 out of the 3 games, but of course she went out there, dropped 23 PRA, had her for less than 16.5, and she let me down. But everyone else that came through, so all in all, not a bad slate, made some money. Looking forward to doing that again on today's slate. Going over to the injury report, where we always start out whenever we break these things down. In all honesty, it wouldn't be a great slate, it wouldn't be a big slate if we didn't have some kind of news that we had to break down for this. Now, of course, the news is going to be coming in some of the later games, but nonetheless, still some injury news and stuff that you have to pay attention to on today's slate. Starting out with the first game on the slate, Dallas taking on the Connecticut Sun. We already seen this game. This was literally their last game that they played before going on the week-long break of us just watching nothing but the Washington, watching the Liberty taking on the Aces. But for Dallas, pretty much nothing new for them. I know it has the shields lit up as green, but Diamond is not back. Lopez, they're not back. Neither one of them are playing. I don't know why they have them sitting here as green for today. Then the Connecticut Sun, biggest thing is Header. She is expected to possibly be back today. Last game she missed due to health and safety protocols, but looks like she will be back for today's slate. Going over to the Washington Mystics taking on Indiana Fever. This, of course, right here is the biggest thing because they've had all these people. They have been out for quite some time. Ariel Atkins, EDD, and Austin, they have been practicing throughout the week. Austin, we got to see her in the last game, so, of course, I do expect for her to be back. I didn't hear anything about a setback for her. Ariel Atkins, EDD, both of them, sounds like they're going to be suited up and be able to play. If you guys pay attention to the release of players and stuff like that have to sign these hardship contracts, so they released a couple of the players that they had for those hardship contracts that were on the Washington Mystics. Those were there to fill in for Ariel Atkins and EDD, even if they played or didn't play, and they have been released. So that typically points to the situation of, hey, Atkins and EDD, they both should be back and expected to be back for today's slate. For the Indiana Fever, nothing new for over there for them, so they're good to go. For the Chicago Sky, looking at them, Chicago Sky, no injury news for the Atlanta Dream. We need to pay attention to Ryan because she popped up on the injury report 2 days ago, either 2 days ago or yesterday, something about her face. So that's definitely something to monitor because, of course, we know if she's going to be out, it's going to be a shift in the starting lineup. The usage is going to go to a couple of other players, and definitely something that we want to pay attention to considering she is a high usage player. And definitely the offense, it is kind of runs through her, things like that. So without her being there, of course, we'll look more towards Alicia Gray, maybe Cheyenne Parker, and whoever they decide to slide slide in. I would imagine it'll be probably Haley Jones would get the start in this spot right here. Or maybe they try to go, maybe they can start Billings, move Nia Coffey up to the 3, something like that. But definitely something that we want to pay attention to. Or they could actually start Ari McDonald, maybe move Alicia Gray down to the 3. They could possibly do that. So definitely some different ways that they can go right there, but something we definitely want to pay attention to for if Ryan was to miss this contest. I really do want to know that news. And luckily, it's a 7:30 game, so we should know that. Now, the later game where there's more injury news and probably some value that we're going to have on the slate. New York Liberty, they just played yesterday, of course. Last time we seen them play on a back-to-back, Courtney Vandersloot, she was rested the second night of the back-to-back. So I would expect much of the same, especially considering that for the Phoenix Mercury, they do not need Courtney Vandersloot, considering that they're going to be without Brittany Griner, Megan, and Shea Petty are all going to be out. And looking at it, the Phoenix Mercury are going to have a 8-woman rotation. I didn't see that they signed anybody specifically. So there's that, but definitely want to pay attention to that in case they do add someone on a hardship or something like that, or just sign someone to a 7-day just for this game. Outside of that, like I said, we just need to make sure that Courtney Vandersloot is going to be rested on this. I would expect her to. Last time she was rested, we got to see a blow-up game for Sabrina Ionescu. We already know this is going to be a smash spot for her, especially going up against the Phoenix Mercury. And then, of course, you can look to Brianna Stewart in this matchup right here. No Brittany Griner, so definitely might be a good one, especially from the Phoenix side. We know that we attack them with opposing guards, so that'll be something to pay attention to, especially considering it's an 8-woman rotation. They have 8 actual players that they should be rotating through for this game. Going over to the Minnesota Lynx, I think the biggest thing for them was the fact that Lindsay Allen, it came out that she messed up, I want to say it was her thumb or something like that. So she's going to be out for this game. So we're going to see possibly the ball more in the hands of Diamond Miller finally again. Her setting up the offense, things like that, Kayla McBride. But without Lindsay Allen, more than likely Tiffany Mitchell moves back into the starting lineup. And then, of course, all the other starters, that'll stay the same. And then for the Seattle side, Gabby, of course, she's still been out. And then the regular for what they've been running out there for them. All right, going over DraftKings, you guys see it. 2023 100K Queen of the Court final. Let's take a second to just enjoy this. Just look at it. Beautiful, isn't it? All right. Going ahead and starting how we always do. If you guys don't have an account over here on DraftKings and you want one, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus. And join me over here on the King. Like I said, this is where I play a lot of my DFS stuff at, so you will see more and more DFS stuff for DraftKings as more sports come back. I don't play MLB. MLB is just, it's not my sport. Can't get into MLB. But, this right here, WNBA, NBA, definitely I said I was going to be picking up hockey this season, NFL, college football, all those things. Play all that over here on DraftKings. So definitely, if you guys want to join me, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. All right, starting with Dallas and the Sun, we literally just seen this matchup, seen this game not so long ago. Biggest thing, since it's 5 games, I'm really just going to hit on key points and touch on who I'll be looking at if I'm looking at someone from that game. So for me, for Dallas, Satu, pretty much the biggest consistent player that we've seen in this matchup with them throughout the season so far. He went out there, she dropped 59 fantasy points in 36 minutes, 28 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 5 steals. Do I expect 5 steals again? No, not exactly, but I would expect much of the same in regards to what she's been able to go out there and do, considering almost 40 fantasy points in this, that one right there when she played going up against them, and 40 minutes, dropped 52 fantasy points. So as you can see, especially if Wnba Bonner is still a little timid with that back. I know that they expect her to be back and playing and she should be good to go, but still Satu, she's been fits and issues for them, considering that Natasha Howard has had a hard time playing going up against the Connecticut Sun. Really not the greatest games from her. Whenever we look at the game logs and things like that for her, it's been just mid-level. So again, definitely would be a fave for me for Natasha Howard. I look more towards Satu. If Tierra McCowan could stay out of foul trouble in this game, that was the thing last time she fouled out in 19 minutes, but she was going off on pace to have a triple-double, literally. Could have had a triple-double in this game, but she was getting ticky-tacky fouls called on her. I don't mind going back to Tierra McCowan here, especially just as a GPP option. People might be scared. She only played 19 minutes. Oh, my gosh. But it was the 6 personal fouls. She was literally on her way to blow the slate open if she would have played her normal minutes, if she wasn't having to worry about foul trouble and things like that. She didn't even have any of her her defensive stats in regards to getting some blocks and steals, which we know she can go out there and get as well. So definitely, I mean, look at it. Last time she played going up against them, 35 minutes. She dropped 44.75 25 fantasy points. I'm not going to say that's what she's going to go out there and do again in this game, but she definitely has more of the floor of a 35-ish game. So if you don't want to pay up for Satu, definitely can see us coming down here paying down for McCowan, who's right there in that price range. Dangerfield, Brown, Maddie. I see no need to go to any of those right there. Arike, she will be a GPP option just because she's been so far going up against the Connecticut Sun. Nothing that I really want to mess with. I feel like there's some better value at the guard position that we can go to. So for me, the main ones that I would look at from the Dallas Wings will be Satu and Tierra McCown would be my main two right there on that side. Looking over here at the Connecticut Sun, of course, AT, just what she does. She goes out there, she does everything. With Bonner being limited in that last game, she played pretty much the whole game and dropped 51 fantasy points. Pretty good, 26 points, 10 rebounds. Do I expect that again from her? Again, she was also dealing with the fact that Tierra McCown wasn't out there on the court, so she's not having to deal with that big body out there, being able to snag the rebounds and things like that from her. So at 12-1, I'm not going to lie, that's a bit steep for what should be a tougher matchup for her. I'm not necessarily looking at going to her on the slate, but I will never say fade her completely, considering that it is AT and the usage that she has is there. It also will be there. Wnba Bonner, if she's had time for that back to heel, I don't mind going to her as a GPP option, but I don't think I have to pay 10-3 for her. There's some other guards on the slate I would rather go to. Definitely wouldn't mind going right back to Tiffany Hayes, who played very well in this game, played 36 minutes. Her minutes have been up. Of course, these last two games that she played high minutes, that was due to Bonner having a messed up back, but her scoring, it's been there, rebounding, assists. I don't mind going back to her again today. I don't mind going back to her PR today as well, as another prop to look at. If it's below 20, if they got it sitting around like 18, 17, 18-ish range, I don't mind going right back to Tiffany Hayes for that prop if you're looking at something. Rebecca Allen, she had a so-so game out there. Dallas actually played some pretty good defense on her. And I actually want to say she got injured in this game as well. Memory's a little fuzzy. Heidemann, she'll be a GPP option, but not something that I'm prioritizing that I have to play today. I'd rather look at someone more in the 7K range that I have my eye on right now for some value. So Heidemann, GPP option just because, as you see, she's not consistent at all with any of her playing, anything that she does, and how she's done going up against the Dallas Wings for the season. It's literally been so-so. Come on, there we go. It's been so-so as well. This thing is not trying to let me scroll down so you guys can see it. Hold on. So looking at Heidemann, in the 3 games, she has a 6, a 16, and then she popped off for that 34. Again, without Wnba Bonner being out there, that might be a production of that. So not really looking there. And then ODO, I know some people might want to flock to this one right here, but she's been so-so in this matchup going up against them. Not someone I will say no, don't play, but at 6'2", I think you can do way better than playing that right there. There's someone else that should be getting the start and playing some mega minutes that I would rather go to at that position instead. Carrington, GPP option. So not really too much in this game or right there for me that I want to run to and go to take. All right, going over to the Washington Mystics, taking on the Indiana Fever. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not touching Washington with a 10-foot pole on today's slate. Simply just because they're going to have players back. Some people, their prices, they're skewed for being priced up and everything for them. I mean, the biggest thing, the one I would possibly take if she's going to actually get her minutes, if she's going to start, I would look towards playing Shakira Austin just because they literally have her price messed up. They have her priced at 5'8". She came back in the last game. She played 14 minutes, pretty much gave us a fantasy point per minute, dropped 13 fantasy points. But my issue, of course, is I would need her to play at least 25 minutes, in all honesty, for me to consider going to her. This matchup going up against the Indiana Fever, she's done well in before, early in the season. Then the second game, she just had a mid-level game in 28 minutes, only dropped 15.25 fantasy points. We had typically been targeting the Indiana Fever with opposing centers. But if Austin is not starting, I'm definitely not going to mess with that price tag at the 5'8". It's very juicy. It's very nice. Maybe if I got some confirmation on her minutes, how her minute loads would look. But without that right there, I'm not really going to be too interested in going right there for that. I'm not going to fall for the trap. And outside of that, like I said, I'm not going to touch any of the Washington Mystics. If I was, it would have been Austin for them. Cloud you can look at as a GPP option, but again, I'm not really going to mess with that on top of this, just for the fact, like I said, with all the players being back, Austin, EDD, and Atkins, just the value that she possibly could have. She's not going to have to go out there and score like that. She's probably going to be more out there for her assist role and her defense and whatnot. So not gonna mess with that on today's slate. Definitely a GPP option, but I feel like there's some better spots we can go to. Going over to the Indiana Fever side, if I'm gonna take anyone from them, of course it's gonna be with the way Aaliyah Boston has been playing. I would love to go to Aaliyah Boston. Austin, she's still dealing with injury. She's still coming back from that. Again, I don't expect her to play her full load of minutes, even with EDD back. That doesn't scare me. Last contest going up against Washington Mystics, she played 28 minutes and she gave us 25.5 fantasy points. Not bad in that time. Then the game before that, 33 minutes, she dropped 25.75 again. And there should be another one. And in 30 minutes, she dropped 54.5 fantasy points. So mixing pot of what we can get for her. Definitely on my radar for a play I could possibly go to. Outside of that, not going to touch anyone else from the Indiana Fever. Correction. If I would touch anyone else from the Fever, it would be Grace. She has seen her minutes been a little steady over the past 3 games, 22, 18, and 23 minutes. Definitely has some interest in that just because if she gets hot when she goes out there, she's a great play. If not, it's been literally. She played 22 minutes in that last game going up against Washington, dropped 11.25 fantasy points. So at 4-2, if you're looking for a cheap play to fit in all the studs and things like that, I possibly could see myself going to Grace. Outside of that, not really looking to go to anyone else on the Fever. They are very much far and in between in regards to players that I would want to roster on a slate. Going over to the Chicago Sky, taking on the Atlanta Dream. From this game, of course, we already know it starts with Courtney Williams, Kalia Copper, Elizabeth, and Marbury. That'll be the 3 that we will always go to. Looking at it, Copper, she's had 2 back-to-back pretty down games, considering what she was putting up and what she was doing over the past several games. So definitely can see it being a bounce back spot for her. Possibly here. Last time, back-to-back playing against the Dream, she dropped 27 and 31 fantasy points. So we know that it's in her wheelhouse to actually be able to do well inside this matchup. I don't mind going to Copper. Courtney Williams, that's another one that we could possibly look at playing in her games going up against them. She dropped her 20 and a 34 fantasy point. So again, like I said, the guards here, if I got to rank them if I'm going to go to anybody on the slate, I will definitely say Kalia Copper, Courtney Williams, Maria Marbury just because she's been very flat over the last several games. And then the 2 games that she played going up against the Atlanta Dream, she went out there, she gave us a 26 and a 15.5 fantasy point type game. So not really favoring Marbury, but I will say I am definitely looking at Elizabeth Williams. We do know that centers, they have been doing pretty decent going up against the Dream. She dropped 23 and 37.75 fantasy points. So definitely I do have my eye on Elizabeth Williams in this matchup and in this spot. I don't mind going to her, especially considering that her minutes, they've been pretty steady over the past several games. She definitely has been producing. In 2 out of the last 5 games, she's dropped over 30 fantasy points in those games right there. So definitely think we could take a stab on Elizabeth Williams, especially considering she's at 8-4. A little bit mid-tier price considering all the other top studs that we have on the slate. So outside of that, Dana Evans, you guys already know, used to like going to her, especially when her price was down here at this price range. Wouldn't mind going to her on this slate right here. In 2 games going up against them, 14.5, 4.5 fantasy points. So another cheap option you could possibly go to if you want to. And then, of course, the GPP option that is always in Atlanta Smith, because you never know what you're going to get with Atlanta. Never know. They priced her back up to 8-2. Definitely might be worth it. Back-to-back 33 fantasy point games. 2 games going up against them. She dropped to 20 and 22.5 fantasy points. But in all honesty, I'd rather just pay up the little 200 to get to Elizabeth Williams, who has that block upside, has been rebounding very well, and has been a pretty good point in scoring as well for the Chicago Sky. Going over to the Atlanta Dream, like I said, we got to know about Ryan, if she's going to play or not. If Ryan's out, that's going to give bumps to Alicia Gray, Cheyenne Parker, and whoever they slide into the starting lineup. Of course, talking about looking at the injury report, I could see Ari McDonald being slid into the starting lineup. They moved Gray down to the 3 type thing, considering that the Chicago Sky, they're running out 3 guards practically themselves in Copper, Marbury, and Courtney Williams. So I could definitely see Ari McDonald being slid into the starting lineup as a possibility, or I could see Monique Billings sliding in as the power forward and moving Coffee up to the 3. I could see any of those, or Haley Jones. So definitely be something that I want to pay attention to understand who's going to start. If they start Haley Jones, I'm not going to lie to you, that's some crazy value, and I wouldn't mind taking it, considering that was riding her whenever she did get the start back when Daniel Robinson was out. So she's not going to be the flashiest player on the slate, but definitely a player I don't mind going to if she was actually to get the start. Very cheap. If she's going to get some 19 minutes and she's going to actually go out there and stuff the stat sheet completely like she can do, I would love it. Let's see, going up against the Sky in the 2 games that she played 8 and 12 minutes. She dropped 4.25 and 6.25 fantasy points. If you can tell me she can at least go out there and get about 20 to 25 minutes and give me at least about a 15 to 18 fantasy points for 3.6K, I'll take it. I would take that all day. So definitely keep your options and check that out. But outside of that, Cheyenne Parker, definitely a safe play to go to. Alicia Gray, don't mind going to her either. In the 2 matchups going up against them so far this season, she dropped a 39 and 25.25 fantasy point game. As you already know, she pretty much is steady Freddy. And then, of course, that out in Orion, I would see the offense leaning more on her shoulders in regards to what she can go out there and do. And then Cheyenne Parker, going up against them, she dropped a 39 in both games back-to-back. So another one, of course, you could definitely consider, especially considering that her minutes, she's played 30 minutes in her last 2 games, playing upward closer towards the 30 minutes now. Don't hate that at all for her, especially at 9,700. That's pretty cheap for the production that she's actually given us. All right, moving over to the New York Liberty taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Like I said, we got to know if Courtney Vandersloot is going to play or not. If she's going to be out, that gives a boost to pretty much the whole starting lineup. Last time that this happened, we seen Johanna. She slid into the starting lineup. Didn't really do much in that game that she did slide into. I want to say this should have been on the 20, somewhere around this range. I want to say it was this game going up against the Minnesota Lynx that she played and that she started and didn't do anything. So GPP option, definitely 4-4. If she's going to get the start, you could definitely look there, go to her. But I would much rather just go ahead and play it for Brianna Stewart or Sabrina Ionescu for either one of them if Courtney Vandersloot is going to miss. Even if Courtney Vandersloot was to play, you already know we attack Phoenix with the opposing guards. So Courtney Vandersloot, she would be in play for me. She played, 33 minutes last night. I don't mind it. Playing against the Phoenix Mercury early in the season. What'd you go out there and do? In 31 minutes, she dropped 22.5 fantasy points. So, again, definitely if she misses, I will go to Sabrina. In that game going up against the Minnesota Lynx, she dropped, 40.25 fantasy points? No, she dropped more than that. I know she did. I got to find the game that Sloot missed. But playing against them, she dropped 36 fantasy points in 32 minutes going up against them. And I'm pretty sure, here we go. There you go. That's the game that Sloot missed, was this game. She played 36 minutes. She dropped 61 fantasy points in that game going up against them. That was the actual back-to-back. It was the 27th and 28th. So why does DraftKings... I feel like I'm crazy. 28, 36... Okay, there it goes. Sorry. 36 minutes, she dropped 60.75 fantasy points. So, yeah, like I said, if Sloot was to miss, I would definitely be looking at Sabrina on the slate. I would also look to Brianna Stewart because the matchup, it'll be there for her. She doesn't have to worry about it. Brittany Griner down there, you're going to be getting Brianna Turner on your 1A defense. And, honestly, Brianna Stewart, the way that she can play, the way that she can go off, I'm not going to fade a stud, in all honesty, especially a stud that hasn't had that big blow-up game in the past 2 games going up against the Aces. And this is a matchup that she could definitely go out there and do that and explode and break the slate. So definitely we'll be looking towards that. Outside of that, everyone else is just GPP options to me besides Johannes, but really just need to get that Courtney Vandersloot news. Phoenix Mercury, like I said, they pretty much have an 8-woman rotation. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yes, I'm counting Sissoko, considering that she possibly could actually see some minutes. This is a deep GPP play right here if you even go here, considering that she hasn't played, she's played 15 minutes, twice this, 15, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's played double-digit minutes about 8 times this season. She really has not played. Of course, going up against New York, she didn't do nothing in that game. Chicago Sky, 13 minutes, she got 2. 13 minutes, she had 6. 15 minutes, she had 9.25, 6.25, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of these games that she actually was getting these minutes and run, they were blowouts. Now, it'll be interesting to see if she will actually get the minutes and run in a game that possibly could be close. We possibly could see New York blow them out, but I'm not gonna write that off. Looking at the game total for this game, it is a 163 game total with a 12.5 favorite for the Phoenix Merc. For the New York Liberty. All these other games are set to be close, but this game, of course, is the only one that is a double-digit spread. So definitely, I will be considering looking at her for a GPP option just because she's going to have to play. She's going to have to play. The starting lineup should definitely be Diana Taurasi, Mariah Jefferson, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner, and Onion Wnba. With Shug Sutton coming off. So you have 2 guards pretty much coming off the bench. And this will be your backup big that can come in and rotate in for all 3 of the positions in regards to well, really more power forward and the center position for her to come in and rotate. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I know she'd come in and play the power forward. Possibly, maybe can go out there and play a center role. I doubt they would actually match her up with Jonquil Jones. I mean, she's 6'2", so not too sure. But I know Henderson, she gets some spot minutes, but really, in the 2 games that she's played in the last 2 with them, she hasn't done anything in those minutes and time that she's gotten. So it'll be interesting to see. But going up to everyone else, DT, GPP option, just because not too sure how well she's going to do in this matchup going up against New York Liberty. She did do decent in the first one, 28 minutes, dropped 41.75 fantasy points, pretty much lit them up. She's playing at home. But I would probably look more towards Mariah Jefferson, considering that everyone is going to be missing. Last time playing up against New York, she went out there and she dropped 29 minutes, dropped 33 fantasy points. I like her for the cheap. She's cheaper. She's cheaper than playing up for Diana Taurasi at 10K, who could possibly go out there and bust. So definitely there's that's my whole selling point on that one right there. I would more than likely look towards just paying down to Mariah Jefferson than versus sitting here paying up to 10K and what possibly could be a blowout and possibly could see Diana Taurasi pull to let Shug get more minutes and run out there instead of running DT into the ground. So that's that. And then of course Wnba at 5'2". Yes, the matchup is going to be tough for her, but she's going to have to play. We're gonna go out there and we're going to see Wnba go out there and at least play 25 to 30 minutes on the slate. And last time she played going up against her former team, she played 25 minutes and dropped 30.75 fantasy points. So she can definitely do it if she gets to burn in minutes. She dropped 19 points on the head. I don't mind looking at Wnba again. 25 minutes off of the bench, 30.75 fantasy points at 5'2". That's a steal, especially with no Megan, no Brittany Griner. They pretty much don't have any backup bigs outside of Wnba and Brianna Turner. She's going to have to play. She's going to have to play the minutes. So definitely we'll be looking towards that. All right, going to the Hammer game. Last game on the slate. If you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any content. And drop a like if you guys have made it this far into the video. I really do greatly appreciate those that watch these videos all the way through. And hopefully I'm helping you guys in some way win some money. So thank you guys for the support. And definitely you guys can show it. Just drop a like on the video, hit the subscribe, and share the video to some other people you know who are looking for some wins, some W's out here on the slate. All right, going over here, pretty much short and sweet. You already know Fee. She's the whole team. She does everything. She blew up in this matchup last time playing up against the Storm. So definitely can go right back to her. Don't hate that. Coming off of a very poor game in her last game out, going up against the Fever, I'll go right back to her. She's sitting at 11-3. Unless you come down off of Alyssa Thomas and things like that. 45 minutes, dropped 61.5 fantasy points. I'm not going to say that's what she's going to go out there and do again, but she dropped a 61 and a 53 in back-to-back games going up against them. I will go right back to that, considering that it'll be there for her. The scoring, she went off scoring-wise going up against them, and no Gabby Williams for the Storm. So their defense to me is definitely weaker. Their defense hasn't always been there anyway for the season. So this is definitely a spot we can see Collier pop off once again. Without Lindsey Allen out there, I definitely do like Diamond Miller. This possibly could be a game where we could piggyback at Diamond Miller and Fee and run it back with someone from the Storm on the slate. So looking at it, when Diamond, she played going up against them earlier in the season, she dropped 32 and 34 fantasy points in those games. She played 31 and 25 minutes in those games. So she definitely can do it. The scoring, it was there. Like I said, the Storm, they really don't play no defense. But stuff the stat sheets with what? That rebounds, yeah, 4 rebounds, couple of assists, and she did it on the defensive end, getting the steals and getting some blocks and things like that. Of course, the personal fouls will always be an issue with Diamond, but if she's able to do that once, I definitely feel like with possibly the ball in her hands more, setting up the offense, playmaking her, playing off of Fee, I do like the spot for both Diamond Miller and Fee. GPP options for me will definitely be Jessica Shepard, Kayla McBride. Of course, the whole starting lineup, they get a boost. Shep, if you don't want to pay up for Fee, I've been saying it for the past couple slates that she's been starting, which has been these last 3 slates. You can always pay down for Jessica Shepard because she kind of can do the exact same thing, but she's not going to be as a high ceiling as what Fee is out there on the slate. So that's kind of what it would be for me if I'm looking at playing Jessica Shepard. I would expect Fee not to have a good game if I'm going to drop down to that. And then, of course, Kelly McBride. She's really just the scoring has to get going for her. As long as she's scoring, she can have these big assist type games, but they are very much far in between if she's going to actually go out there and have those big type of games. GPP option because she does rely so much on herself to score in order for her to get there. Everyone else, Tiffany Mitchell, I'm not going to touch her with 10th pole. She is, even when she was starting, she wasn't doing too much with that starting role. I didn't like it in the first place, so not going to even get myself going to that right there. Let's see, did she play going up against the Storm? Doesn't look like she played going up against the Storm this season. So, yeah, I'm not even messing with Tiffany Mitchell. I just feel like that's a trap. Not going to mess with that at all. Banham, I can see that as a GPP play because when she comes off the bench, her usage is so high. They look to her to score all the time. GPP, not something that you have to play, but the floor is definitely there for Banham. And then, of course, Powers. Unfortunately, our Powers, they just don't play her. If they actually start Bridget, that'll be interesting. If they start Bridget, maybe I could see myself going there at 3-1. If they give her the minutes, definitely could be an option. She played 22 minutes in that second game, dropped 11 fantasy points. So maybe definitely a GPP option. I'm not gonna say no, but she has to start. But not might not mind it. Might not. Definitely interesting if they were to start Bridget, but of course we're not going to get that news since it's so late. And then going over to the Seattle side, you guys already know what it is. Jewel Lloyd, you pay up for her, you play her. If you can't fit Jewel, definitely can come down to Sammy, who kind of took a back seat in that last game. Really didn't do Sammy things. Only took 4 shots, which to me very uncharacteristic of Sammy. She's normally a gunslinger, goes out there and just shoots the ball. Definitely her sister there. She's always going to be whipping that rock around, getting the assist, rebound, doing some dirty work, trying to play defense. So I don't mind paying down to Sammy if you cannot play Jewel Lloyd, but the type of game this is, the back and forth this should be, I definitely would go ahead and pay up for Jewel if I have to go there. 23 minutes, she dropped 28 fantasy points, and 30 minutes, she dropped 33 fantasy points. I don't hate that for her at all. Over her last 4 out of 5 games, she's been pretty decent, at least dropping over 20 fantasy points in all those games. That's what I'm saying. In this game, going up against the Phoenix Mercury, I would have expected at least a 25 to 30 fantasy point game from her. So definitely an option that we can look at going to Sammy over Lloyd. And then you can definitely pay for easy if you want to go here. Pretty much this is 2 of the worst defenses in the league. She cooked them in both games, 34.5 and 47 fantasy points in both of those games right there. Oh, the second game did go to overtime, so there is that. And then Fan Cam, she actually played decent in her game going up against them. Where is it at? She played 27 minutes and dropped 26.75 fantasy points. So another cheap punt, well, not cheap, but a punt option that you can drop down to at 6'3" if you're not going to pay it for any of the other main pieces for the Storm. We do know that Fan Cam, she does start. She is playing the center position. If they're going to actually give her minutes and run, possibly something that we can go to, putting up pretty much a fantasy point per minute over her last 3 games. GPP option nonetheless. Outside of that, Mercedes Russell isn't really someone that I look to, but with the minutes that she's actually getting over these last several games, I would have to consider her. Not a main staple and a main point, but she did drop a fantasy point per minute going up against the Minnesota Lynx earlier, so can write her down as a possible play. But at 5K, that's just a little bit steep for me at 5K. But if they're going to tell me she's going to play at least 28 minutes, I can see the rebounds being there. I can see the putbacks being there, and the defensive upside for her will be there for sure. All right, guys, I know, long breakdown. It's 5 games. Sorry about that. But if you guys got any questions, talk to me down in the comment section. Hopefully, I will see a lot of you guys up at the top in the 5K to first. Well, yeah, in the 5K up top for the main $15 contest on the slate. Wish your boys some good luck. If I go live, tune in, sweat it out with me, see if we can't go ahead and take down this 20K to first, man. This honestly first actual big contest that I've gotten like this before. Definitely wouldn't have gotten here without honestly doing these breakdowns and explaining stuff to you guys, because it helped me with my process with how I build out my lines and stuff like that, talking through what it is that I'm seeing and things like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for paying attention and watching. It's your boy Zoe. I hope to see you guys in the green. Peace.